Okay, that was really unnecessarily loud. Today I'm going to draw a quick landscape using number 2 pencil, and that's it, nothing else. And I'm using like a super terrible number 2 pencil, and it does not have an eraser on it. I don't like using erasers, especially not these, because they tend to lift up the surface of your paper, which makes your surface look terrible. And then also, I feel like erasers force you to focus on mistakes instead of developing your problem-solving skills, because it's those problem-solving skills that really make art dynamic and changing in a significant way for personal growth and development as an artist. If you never make mistakes, if everything you do is exactly what you want it to do, it's very hard to get further. So anyway, first thing you have to figure out is, where is your horizon line going to be? You can put it in the middle, but we don't tend to look at the world where it's just half sky and half ground. And unless you're looking directly at the horizon line, that's not how you see the world. You tend to see it either mostly sky or mostly ground. So in this case, I'm going to do 1/3 sky. One of the easiest things to draw in a landscape like this is just mountains. And mountains don't have to be anything precise. They're kind of these tall, multi-textured rocks that were forced out of the ground against their will. So I'm going to layer them a little bit. And using these kind of jagged, squiggly marks to suggest that they're not smooth. They're not pyramids, they're mountains, and mountains aren't perfectly smooth. I guess they could be if you carve them to be. So here we go. So we have our mountains. Now, I don't want to leave this horizon line here because that is not how mountains look in nature. They don't just stop with a plain line unless, like I said, it's a pyramid. It just kind of comes out of the ground or the sand. So in this case, I'm going to draw trees as if the trees are coming up mountains, like they do in places that have trees on their mountains. And now, in between these two mountains, I'm going to put a river, because rivers are often found in valleys, and in this case, I want there to be a river in my drawing. So I'm going to put a river. And maybe I want my river to be squiggly. Now the thing about rivers is that the further they are away, the skinnier they are, and then the closer they get to you, the bigger they are. So look, I'm going to put a tree right there. Just a little one, standing all by himself on this little point overlooking the river. There. And now the bottom of the trees, I'm going to do the same thing like I did with the mountains, with the tree line. I'm going to imply that they keep going, and they kind of just stop wherever they feel like stopping, or wherever I feel like they should stop. And I'm using scribbly motions because I don't want things to look contrived. I could make it straight and make everything look very lollipop looking, but I don't want to do that, so I'm not gonna. And then up here in the front, foreground, I want to put a tree on a little hill. I'm going to put a hill coming off, and I'm going to make some roots come out, and maybe this is going to be like a stubby tree, branches. Here's a tip about drawing trees. Whatever you do with one branch, you have to do with the tree shape itself. So if the tree is going to branch in twos, all the branches should branch in twos. That sounds really not clear. This tree looks like Medusa. I'm okay with that. Let's put some texture in this tree. Notice I'm just drawing right over everything as if nothing else is there. Because technically, until I put it there, it's It's not permanent. And now I'm going to draw my shapes of the leaves on top of the branches. Now part of this is like, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. I'm okay with that. Okay, so I want this to be evening, so I'm going to go ahead and shade in my sky, because at nighttime or evening time the sky is not the lightest thing on the page. I'm not trying to be particular about the way I'm shading around these mountains, because this is a quick sketch. This is not a labor-intensive drawing. It's not meant to be a completed or finished work. It's just an exercise to practice techniques. So mountains that are farther away are lighter than mountains that are closer, because things fade the farther they get from the viewer. And so I am not taking my finger and pulling this darker pencil into the part of the mountain that I want to be light. Do not shade with your finger if you want to keep that drawing, because the oils in your finger are going to smudge the pencil so you think it looks cool, but what happens is the oils attach themselves to the graphite, and the graphite bonds temporarily to the paper. But then when the oil from your fingers dries, you lose the pencil. It falls off of the page. So learn to use pencil control. And what that means is that if you want something to be dark, press hard. If you want it to be light, press soft. And it's a much more effective way to develop drawings than smudging. Smudging is Now, I know that my hand is smudging this paper because I keep going back and forth. And I mean, if I wanted to keep this around for a long time, I would be using a tissue underneath my hand, but I'm just trying to demonstrate. So my bushes in the background are going to be a little bit darker because they're a little bit closer to the viewer. I have a really strong feeling that this tree is going to be really confusing. Why did I put it there? I should have put it on the other side. It's okay. I'm just going to keep going. No eraser. Let's see what happens. Just keep going. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this a dead tree. Okay. Some grass over here along the riverbank. And some grass over here. Grass shapes are easy. They're just squiggles, but more up and down than circular. And then I'm going to do a field back here underneath my trees. And I am just drawing over what I've already drawn. You know, I'm not trying to worry about erasing anything or starting over because I drew something I didn't like. I'm just going to go directly over it and keep going and see what happens. And if I don't like it in the end, awesome. What did I learn from it? You know, did it teach me anything? And if it did, it was worth doing. And that's how you grow. So let's make our dead tree. Maybe it's not dead. Maybe it's resting. In peace. It's got like claw branches. I'm okay with that too. You can't even see that branch. That's all right. The tree knows it's there. And I'm going to make it silhouetted. Because if it's evening, it will look silhouetted. Unless it's being lit up by a lamp. Or lights. Or a fire. Or if it's on fire. But my tree's not going to be on fire. I'm trying to keep to that rule of however you split the branch. All the trunk has to split the same way. But if I don't feel like it, I don't. I change however often I want to. There we go. Scribble in some texture for the bark. Put some grass out here. Scribble, scribble. All right, now put some long lines to imply moving water. And then come over here. Oh, I didn't even shade these trees over here. What's up with that? Get shaded, trees. Okay. Oh, I forgot to shade this front mountain. Mountain. Don't be sad. I'll give you some shade. Notice the direction that my lines are going is going to give the illusion that there's like a field there because it's got those long stretchy lines. Let's put some squiggles in, like there's some grass. Oh, little tree, you got lost. I find you. There you are. Don't be lost, little tree. All right. And this is almost done. And put some grasses. Dead tree. And I think we are almost done. Make this part a little bit darker. And then this part even darker because it is closest. And I think we are just about done. All one pencil too, not using multiple pencils. Okay, that's my landscape.